In a world where oversharing is the norm and people are quick to broadcast every aspect of their lives, silence has become a rare and powerful tool. We're constantly encouraged to share our dreams, challenges, and even our personal growth with the world. But the truth is, some things are best kept private. In today's episode, we'll explore 12 key aspects of your life that you should never expose, inspired by the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that true strength lies in discretion, the ability to protect your inner world from unnecessary influence, judgment, or interference. When you learn to guard your thoughts, plans, and emotions, you cultivate focus, resilience, and inner peace. You become unshakable, less concerned with others' opinions, and more connected to your personal journey. By the end of this episode, you'll understand why keeping certain aspects of your life private is essential for genuine growth and lasting fulfillment. These aren't just philosophical ideas. They're practical principles you can apply immediately to protect your energy, preserve your focus, and maintain your emotional balance. Let's dive into 12 things you should never expose and discover how discretion can become your greatest strength. 1. Don't talk about your next steps. Move in silence, achieve in silence. When you're working toward a goal or planning your next big move, it can be tempting to share your ideas with those around you. After all, we live in a world that celebrates openness and sharing. But here's the truth. Talking about your next steps before you take them can do more harm than good. It exposes your plans to opinions, judgments, and even envy from others, which can derail your focus and weaken your motivation. When you keep your plans private, you give yourself the freedom to adapt. You're not boxed in by expectations or external pressure. If you decide to change course, there's no need to explain yourself to anyone. You simply shift gears and keep moving forward. Silence becomes your ally, allowing you to act without distraction or interference. There's also a psychological reason why sharing your plans prematurely can be detrimental. Talking about your goals can trick your mind into feeling as if you've already accomplished them. This false sense of progress can reduce your drive to take real, consistent action. By keeping your next steps to yourself, you maintain that inner fire, the hunger to keep pushing until your actions speak louder than words. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what's within our control, your actions, your discipline, your effort. By keeping your plans private, you eliminate unnecessary noise and stay centered on what truly matters: execution. Let your results do the talking. When your achievements become visible through your actions, they'll naturally earn the respect of others without you having to say a word. So, the next time you're tempted to announce your next big move, pause and ask yourself, am I seeking validation, or am I truly focused on getting it done? True confidence doesn't need to broadcast. It thrives in silence. Stay quiet. Stay focused. Let your success be your voice. 2. Don't talk about your deepest dream. Protect it. Let it grow in silence. Your deepest dream is something sacred. It's not just a goal, it's a reflection of your innermost desires, the vision that gives your life meaning. But here's the thing. When you share your dream too early, you expose it to skepticism, doubt, and negativity from others, often before it's had a chance to fully form. Even well-meaning people can unintentionally cast shadows over your vision, making you second-guess yourself or lose the passion that drives you. Dreams are fragile in their early stages. They need nurturing, focus, and time to grow strong. By keeping your dream private, You shield it from unnecessary scrutiny. You create a space where it can thrive without the weight of external opinions. Remember, most people judge dreams through the lens of their own fears and limitations. Sharing yours too soon invites those limitations into your mind, clouding your clarity and weakening your resolve. There's also something deeply empowering about holding your dream close to your heart. It becomes a quiet, steady force that drives you forward, a personal source of inspiration that no one can touch. When you keep your dream private, it's yours alone, free from outside pressure, free from the need for validation. This allows you to stay true to yourself, to pursue your vision with authenticity, not shaped by the expectations of others. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of inner strength and self-reliance. By keeping your deepest dream private, you cultivate that strength. You learn to draw motivation from within rather than seeking it externally. You stay grounded, focused on the actions that will bring your dream to life, rather than the applause or approval of others. When the time comes, when your dream is fully realized, it will speak for itself. The world will see the results of your quiet, persistent effort, and you won't need to explain or justify anything. Until then, protect your dream. Let it be a guiding light that only you can see, a source of silent power that fuels your journey. So, the next time you're tempted to share your deepest aspiration, pause and remind yourself, this is mine to build, mine to nurture, mine to achieve. Silence isn't secrecy, it's strength. Keep your dream close, let it grow. And when it's ready, let your actions reveal what words never could. 3. Don't talk about your challenges. Not yet overcome. Protect your vulnerabilities. Build your strength in silence. We all face challenges, those personal battles that test our limits and push us to grow. And while it can feel comforting to share your struggles with others, talking about challenges that you haven't yet overcome can leave you exposed. When you share an unresolved struggle, you invite outside opinions, judgments, and unsolicited advice, which can sometimes complicate your process rather than help you move forward. There's nothing wrong with seeking support when you truly need it, but it's important to recognize that not everyone will understand your journey. Some may view your struggles through a lens of their own insecurities, offering criticism or doubt instead of encouragement. Worse, sharing too soon can make you feel even more vulnerable, amplifying feelings of uncertainty and weakening your inner resolve. Stoicism teaches us that strength comes from within. When you quietly work through your challenges without broadcasting them, you build resilience. You learn to trust yourself, to face difficulties head-on, and to find solutions from a place of calm determination. This quiet strength becomes your foundation, strong, steady, and unshakable by external forces. Sharing a challenge before it's resolved can also lead to unnecessary pressure. You may feel the need to prove yourself to those who are now aware of your struggle, which can add stress rather than ease it. By keeping your challenges private, you remove this external weight, allowing yourself to focus fully on overcoming the obstacle at hand. Once you've conquered your struggle, that's when sharing becomes powerful. When you speak from experience, having learned and grown through adversity, your story can inspire others without exposing your vulnerabilities. At that point, your words carry weight because they're backed by action, and your strength is evident not through what you say, but through what you've achieved. Remember, your struggles are part of your personal growth, and growth happens best in a safe, private space where you can process, adapt, and overcome without unnecessary noise. Silence isn't avoidance, it's protection. It's creating the mental space you need to rise above your challenges and emerge stronger, wiser, and more capable. So, when you find yourself tempted to share your unresolved struggles, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, am I seeking clarity or am I seeking validation? True clarity comes from within, and the quiet work you do in overcoming challenges is what shapes your character. Face your battles in silence, and when you emerge victorious, you'll carry a quiet strength that speaks louder than words ever could. 4. Don't talk about your good deeds. Let your actions speak, not your words. In a world where recognition often feels like the ultimate reward, it's tempting to talk about the good deeds you've done, whether it's helping someone in need, offering support to a friend, or contributing to a cause. But here's what the Stoics believed. True virtue doesn't seek praise, it thrives in silence. When you talk about your good deeds, you risk diminishing their purity, turning a selfless act into something driven by external validation. The power of a good deed lies in its quiet nature. When you help someone without expecting acknowledgement or applause, you cultivate genuine virtue. You're not doing it for the world to see. You're doing it because it aligns with your values, because it feels right. This quiet integrity strengthens your character, building a sense of inner respect that doesn't rely on external approval. Talking about your good deeds can also shift the focus from the act itself to the recognition you hope to receive. Over time, this can create a habit where your motivation becomes less about helping others and more about being seen as a good person. But true self-respect comes from knowing that you've done the right thing, even if no one else knows about it. There's another reason to keep your good deeds private. It fosters humility. When you act without broadcasting your kindness, you remind yourself that the goal isn't to be admired, it's to make a difference no matter how small. Humility isn't about denying your strengths, it's about using them quietly and effectively, without needing to draw attention to yourself. When others eventually notice your actions, and they will, they'll respect you not because you told them about your good deeds, but because your character naturally shines through. This kind of respect is far more meaningful, built on what you consistently do, not what you say. Remember, real strength doesn't seek recognition. It finds fulfillment in silent integrity, in knowing that you've contributed positively to the world without needing validation. As the Stoics believed, virtue is its own reward. So the next time you do something good, resist the urge to announce it. Let your actions remain quiet, and allow the ripple effect of your kindness to spread naturally. True impact doesn't need a spotlight, it only needs sincerity. Keep your good deeds silent, and over time, you'll build a quiet, unshakable sense of self-worth, one rooted in action, not applause. 5. Don't talk about your deepest plans. Protect your vision, guard your progress. When you have a clear vision and well-thought-out plans, it can be exciting to share them with others. You might feel that talking about your strategies makes them more real, or that you'll gain support from those around you. But here's what experience and Stoic wisdom teaches us. The more you expose your deepest plans, the more vulnerable they become to interference, doubt, and even sabotage. Your deepest plans are like seeds. You plant them quietly, nurture them carefully, and give them time to grow beneath the surface before they're ready to be seen. Sharing them prematurely exposes them to external forces, opinions, criticisms, and even jealousy that can stunt their growth or cause you to second-guess yourself. Keeping your plans private allows you to focus on execution rather than explaining yourself to others. When you reveal intricate details of your strategies, you risk something else, losing your flexibility. Plans often evolve as you move forward. If too many people know your original blueprint, you may feel pressured to stick to it, even when circumstances call for change. By keeping your plans to yourself, you maintain the freedom to adapt and refine your approach without the burden of external expectations. There's also a psychological aspect to consider. Talking about your plans can create a false sense of progress. When you share your goals and receive positive feedback, your brain may register that as a reward, giving you a premature sense of accomplishment. This can reduce your drive to take real action, because part of your mind already feels like you've achieved something just by talking about it. Silence keeps your focus on what truly matters, taking consistent, deliberate steps toward your goal. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of internal control, focusing on what you can influence while ignoring distractions. By guarding your plans, you protect your energy from being wasted on unnecessary conversations or validation seeking. Your actions remain your primary focus, and you retain control over your direction. When your plans come to fruition, they will speak for themselves. You won't need to explain the process or defend your choices, because the results will make it clear that you were on the right path all along. Until then, let your work be quiet and consistent, and let your progress unfold naturally. So, before you share your next big idea, ask yourself, is this helping me move forward, or is it just noise? Protect your vision. Keep your plans private. Focus on action, not attention. Over time, your quiet dedication will build something far stronger than words. It will build real results, the kind that don't need explanation or validation. 6. Don't talk about your achievements. Let success speak for itself. In a culture that often rewards self-promotion, it can feel tempting to share your achievements with others. You might think that by doing so, you'll gain respect, recognition, or admiration. But the truth is, genuine respect isn't earned by what you say. It's earned by what you do. When you constantly talk about your accomplishments, you risk coming across as boastful, and the impact of your success diminishes. Stoic philosophy teaches us that virtue lies in humility. When you let your actions and results speak for themselves, you command quiet respect. Respect that doesn't need to be demanded or sought out. People are naturally drawn to those who achieve quietly, without the need for external validation. This approach not only enhances your credibility, but also reinforces your self-respect. You know what you've accomplished, and that knowledge is enough. There's another important reason to avoid talking too much about your achievements. It keeps you focused on growth. When you dwell on past successes, you risk becoming complacent. Talking about what you've already done can create a false sense of completion, making it harder to stay motivated and push toward your next goal. Silence keeps you grounded, reminding you that there's always more to learn, more to build, and more to achieve. By keeping your achievements to yourself, you also avoid unnecessary competition or jealousy from others. Not everyone will celebrate your success. Some may envy it, criticize it, or try to undermine it. When you stay silent, you protect yourself from these negative reactions, allowing you to focus fully on your personal journey. This doesn't mean you should never share your wins. It means being selective and intentional about when and with whom you do. Share your accomplishments with those who genuinely support you, those who will celebrate your success without turning it into a contest or comparison. But don't feel the need to broadcast every achievement to the world. True fulfillment comes from knowing you've done something meaningful, not from others' applause. As the Stoics would say, real strength lies in quiet confidence. You don't need to announce your success for it to matter. When your achievements are real and impactful, they will become evident to those who matter, without you having to say a word. So the next time you reach a milestone or achieve something significant, resist the urge to talk about it right away. Take a moment to reflect, to appreciate your progress, and to remind yourself that the journey isn't over. Let success be a silent motivator, one that fuels your next steps rather than becoming a final destination. Remember, the most powerful achievements don't need words, they inspire through action. Stay humble, stay focused, keep building. And when the time comes, let your success shine through without saying a thing. True respect comes not from what you declare, but from what you quietly achieve. 7. Don't talk about your doubts and uncertainties. Build inner strength. Before seeking external support. Doubts and uncertainties are a natural part of life. We all experience moments of hesitation, fear, or second-guessing, especially when we're facing new challenges or trying to achieve something meaningful. But here's the key. Talking too much about your doubts can undermine both your confidence and the way others perceive you. When you voice your uncertainties to the wrong people or at the wrong time, you open yourself up to judgment and unnecessary influence, which can magnify your insecurities instead of helping you overcome them. Stoicism teaches us the value of internal resilience, the ability to confront life's challenges with quiet determination. When you constantly share your doubts, you risk becoming overly dependent on external validation or reassurance. This weakens your inner strength, making you more vulnerable to the opinions of others. On the other hand, when you learn to process your doubts privately, you develop mental fortitude and self-reliance, the very qualities that help you push through uncertainty and emerge stronger on the other side. There's another important reason to keep your doubts to yourself. It protects your influence and credibility. When others frequently hear about your insecurities, they may begin to question your abilities. Even if you're capable and competent, voicing too many doubts can create the perception that you're unsure of yourself. True confidence comes not from pretending you have no doubts, but from learning to manage them internally and continuing to take action despite them. This doesn't mean you should never seek advice or support. When you truly need guidance, it's wise to reach out to someone you trust, someone who can offer perspective without amplifying your fears. The key is to be selective and thoughtful about when, how, and with whom you share your uncertainties. Not every doubt needs to be voiced. Some are best handled quietly through reflection and deliberate action. One powerful way to manage your doubts privately is through journaling or self-reflection. Writing down your uncertainties allows you to process them without external interference. Over time, you'll notice patterns, gain clarity, and learn how to navigate uncertainty with greater ease. You'll also realize that many doubts are temporary. They fade away once you take action and start seeing progress. Remember, everyone has doubts. It's how you handle them that matters. By choosing to work through your uncertainties in silence, you cultivate a quiet confidence that speaks louder than any reassurance you could seek. This inner strength not only helps you overcome challenges, but also earns you respect from those around you. So, the next time doubt creeps in, pause and ask yourself, do I need external validation, or can I find clarity within myself? Trust in your ability to figure things out. even when the path ahead seems uncertain. The more you practice this, the more resilient and self-assured you'll become. In the end, confidence isn't the absence of doubt. It's the ability to move forward despite it. Keep your doubts private. Nurture your inner strength, and let your actions show the world that you're capable of navigating life's uncertainties with quiet determination. That's real power. That's real confidence. 8. Don't talk about your moments of solitude. Guard your time for reflection and growth. In today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, moments of solitude are rare, and they're more valuable than ever. These quiet moments, when you disconnect from the noise of the outside world and turn inward, are essential for self-reflection, personal growth, and emotional clarity. Yet, many people feel the need to share even their moments of solitude, turning something deeply personal into a performance for others. But here's the truth. Your solitude is sacred, and it's something that should be protected, not broadcasted. Why is solitude so powerful? Because it's in those quiet moments that you reconnect with yourself. You gain clarity about your goals, your values, and your emotions. Without the distractions of constant interaction, you're able to hear your own thoughts clearly, reflect on your experiences, and recharge mentally and emotionally. It's in solitude that real personal growth happens, but only when you allow it to be a private, undisturbed process. Talking about your moments of solitude diminishes their power. It invites external opinions and expectations into what should be a purely internal experience. When you share too much, you risk turning your private time into something performative, where the focus shifts from genuine reflection to how others perceive your solitude. Instead of nurturing your inner world, you start seeking validation for it, which defeats the purpose entirely. Stoicism teaches us that introspection and self-awareness are key to a well-balanced life. These qualities can only be cultivated when you take time to be alone, to disconnect from external influences and focus on what truly matters. Solitude isn't about isolation, it's about creating space for your mind to breathe, to explore, and to grow stronger. Another reason to keep your moments of solitude private is that they build resilience and emotional stability. When you learn to be comfortable alone, without needing to share or seek approval, you develop a quiet strength that helps you navigate life's challenges with calmness and clarity. You become less dependent on external validation and more grounded in your own sense of self. If you're not used to spending time alone, start small. Take a few minutes each day to sit in silence, reflect, or simply be present with your thoughts. Over time, you'll find that these moments become a source of peace and clarity, a time when you can reset, refocus, and realign with your goals. Remember, your moments of solitude are a gift to yourself. They're not something that needs to be shared or explained. They're a time for introspection, growth, and quiet strength. By keeping them private, you preserve their purity and allow them to have a deeper impact on your life. So, the next time you find yourself in a moment of quiet reflection, resist the urge to share it. Instead, cherish it. Let it be a time when you nurture your mind, strengthen your resolve, and reconnect with your true self. True growth happens in silence, and those who master the art of solitude carry a calm, unshakable strength that no external noise can disrupt. Guard your solitude. It's where your greatest power lies. 9. Don't talk about your resentment. Let go. Don't fuel the fire. Resentment is a heavy burden to carry, whether it stems from a betrayal, a disappointment, or unresolved conflicts. Holding on to resentment can weigh you down emotionally and mentally. But here's the thing. Talking about your resentment doesn't ease the burden. It magnifies it. When you continually voice your grudges to others, you give power to the negativity, allowing it to fester and grow, keeping you trapped in a cycle of anger and frustration. Stoic philosophy teaches us that we don't control what happens to us, but we do control how we respond. Harboring and sharing resentment only prolongs the pain, making it harder to find peace. When you vocalize your resentment, you relive the hurt, reinforcing the emotional wound instead of allowing it to heal. Worse, sharing your grudges invites others to feed into your anger, potentially making you feel even more justified in holding on to it. Resentment doesn't hurt the person you're angry at. It hurts you. It drains your energy, clouds your judgment, and keeps you emotionally stuck. The Stoics believed that true strength lies in letting go, in releasing what you cannot control and focusing instead on your own well-being. When you let go of resentment, you free yourself from its grip, allowing space for peace and clarity to take its place. But letting go isn't always easy, and it doesn't mean ignoring what happened or pretending it didn't affect you. It means choosing not to let that experience define you or control your emotions. Instead of sharing your resentment, channel that energy into something productive, self-improvement, meaningful work, or simply enjoying the present moment. When you talk about your resentment, you risk becoming consumed by it. You allow the past to dominate your present, robbing you of the joy and peace you could be experiencing. Letting go is a personal journey, one that doesn't require an audience. By keeping your resentment private, you give yourself the chance to process it quietly and move forward without unnecessary drama or external influence. One powerful practice for letting go of resentment is gratitude. When you focus on what you have, rather than what you've lost or what hurt you, your perspective shifts. Gratitude helps you see the bigger picture, reminding you that life is more than just one negative experience. Over time, this mindset weakens the grip of resentment, making it easier to release. Remember, letting go isn't about weakness. It's about strength. It takes courage to move past what hurt you, to refuse to let resentment control your thoughts or your life. By keeping your resentments private and choosing to release them, you cultivate inner peace and emotional resilience, qualities that make you truly unshakable. So when you feel resentment bubbling up, resist the urge to talk about it. Instead, take a deep breath, reflect on what you've learned, and remind yourself, I am stronger than this. I choose peace over pain. In time, you'll find that the weight of resentment lifts, leaving you lighter, freer, and more focused on what truly matters. True strength comes not from holding on to anger, but from letting it go and moving forward in silence and serenity. 10. Don't talk about others. Protect your integrity. Elevate your character. In any social setting, it's easy to fall into the trap of talking about others. Whether it's sharing gossip, making judgments, or venting frustrations about someone, discussing others often feels like harmless conversation. But here's the truth. Talking about others, especially when they're not present, undermines your integrity and diminishes your character. It distracts you from your own personal growth and invites unnecessary negativity into your life. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and responses, not what others are doing. When you talk about others, you shift your focus outward, wasting energy on things that don't contribute to your well-being. Worse, it can foster resentment, jealousy, and a sense of superiority, none of which serve your personal development. Beyond personal impact, gossip and judgment erode trust. People quickly notice when someone frequently talks about others, and it plants a seed of doubt. If they talk about others, will they talk about me too? Over time, this damages your relationships, making it harder for people to trust you. By choosing to remain silent about others, you build a reputation for integrity, respect, and trustworthiness, qualities that make people naturally respect and admire you. Another reason to avoid talking about others is that it distracts you from self-reflection. When you focus too much on other people's lives, you miss opportunities to look inward, to assess your own actions, and to make meaningful improvements. Personal growth isn't about comparing yourself to others. It's about becoming a better version of yourself, day by day. Silence gives you the space to do that without unnecessary noise or distraction. This doesn't mean you can't discuss ideas or seek advice about handling relationships. It means avoiding unnecessary criticism or judgment. If you need to process something involving another person, choose someone you trust and approach the conversation with the intent of finding clarity, not spreading negativity. Instead of talking about others, focus on elevating your own behavior. Be the person who leads by example, who others can look to for wisdom and calm in any situation. Let your actions demonstrate your values, and let your silence speak volumes about your integrity. Remember, the way you speak about others reflects more about you than it does about them. Choose to speak with kindness, or not at all. Protect your energy by staying out of gossip and judgment, and watch how your relationships transform, built on trust, respect, and mutual understanding. So, the next time you're tempted to talk about someone else, pause and ask yourself, is this conversation necessary? Does it serve my growth or theirs? If not, choose silence. In doing so, you elevate not just your words, but your entire character. True strength lies in restraint, and true wisdom lies in focusing on what you can control, yourself. 11. Don't talk about unlearned lessons. Let wisdom develop in silence. Life is a continuous journey of learning, filled with lessons that shape us over time. However, not every experience immediately turns into wisdom. Talking about lessons you haven't fully understood or internalized yet can be premature and counterproductive, leading to shallow conclusions and misguided advice. True understanding takes time, reflection, and personal growth. When you prematurely share an unlearned lesson, you risk presenting half-formed ideas that may not stand the test of time. This can create confusion for both yourself and those who hear you. Wisdom isn't about having quick answers. It's about having thoughtful insights born from deep reflection and genuine experience. By keeping your lessons private until they are fully formed, you allow yourself the space to process and absorb them without external pressure or judgment. There's also a deeper personal benefit to remaining silent about lessons not yet grasped. It keeps you humble. It reminds you that life is a work in progress, and true mastery doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from the willingness to continue learning, growing, and evolving. When you share prematurely, you risk focusing more on appearing wise than on actually becoming wise. Stoicism teaches us the value of practical wisdom, which is only gained through quiet introspection and deliberate action. When you take the time to internalize a lesson fully, you're better equipped to apply it in real life and share it meaningfully with others when the time is right. Until then, silence is your ally. It gives you the freedom to reflect, to make mistakes, and to grow without external noise clouding your judgment. Unlearned lessons are like seeds. They need time to grow into something solid and valuable. Talking too soon is like digging up a seed before it has had the chance to take root. Instead, nurture your experiences quietly, allowing them to blossom into genuine wisdom over time. When the time comes, when you truly understand the lesson and have lived through its full impact, you'll naturally be able to share it with others in a way that resonates deeply. Until then, embrace the silence, trust the process, and remember that the greatest lessons are often those learned quietly and reflected upon privately. So, when you find yourself wanting to share something you haven't fully understood, pause. Give yourself the grace to learn without pressure. True wisdom doesn't rush. It reveals itself in time, through quiet reflection and lived experience. Keep learning, keep growing, and let your silence be the space where real understanding takes root. In time, your wisdom will speak for itself, authentic, thoughtful, and deeply earned. 12. Don't talk about your self-improvement journey. Grow in silence. Evolve without distraction. Self-improvement is a deeply personal journey. Whether you're working on your mindset, building healthier habits, or trying to overcome personal challenges, the process is about becoming a better version of yourself, on your terms, at your own pace. Sharing too much about your self-improvement efforts can invite external opinions, expectations, and even unintended pressure that may disrupt your progress. When you talk about your self-improvement journey, you open the door to comparisons. People might judge your methods, question your progress, or even impose their own beliefs on what improvement should look like. This can lead to doubt and second-guessing, making it harder to stay focused on what truly matters, your personal growth, not others' validation. Another risk of sharing your journey too openly is the psychological effect it can have on your motivation. Talking about your goals and progress can create a false sense of accomplishment, tricking your brain into feeling as if the work is already done. As a result, you may lose the drive to continue putting in the consistent effort required for real transformation. Silence, on the other hand, keeps you grounded and focused, allowing you to stay committed without distractions. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of self-discipline and inner strength, qualities that are best cultivated in quiet persistence, not public display. When you grow in silence, you protect yourself from unnecessary pressure, giving yourself the freedom to evolve naturally without feeling the need to perform or prove anything to anyone. Your self-improvement journey is unique. No one else truly understands the struggles you face, the habits you're trying to build, or the mindset shifts you're working toward. By keeping your journey private, you maintain control over your growth. You set your own pace, adapt as needed, and measure progress by your own standards, not by how others perceive it. This doesn't mean you should never share your progress. Once you've made meaningful changes and feel confident in your growth, sharing your experiences can inspire others. But until then, allow yourself the space to improve quietly. Let your results speak for themselves when the time is right. There's also an unexpected benefit to keeping your self-improvement journey private. It builds quiet confidence. You're not seeking applause or recognition. You're improving because you genuinely want to grow. This kind of confidence is unshakable, rooted in real effort and personal transformation, not in external validation. So, before you share your latest habit, mindset shift, or personal breakthrough, ask yourself, am I sharing this to seek approval, or am I truly focused on my own growth? Protect your journey. Grow in silence. Let your progress be personal, uninterrupted by outside noise. In time, your actions will show your transformation, and your life will reflect the changes you've made. True self-improvement doesn't need an audience. It needs quiet, consistent effort. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and remember, the most profound growth happens when no one is watching. Keep moving forward, quietly becoming the best version of yourself. In a world that constantly encourages us to share, overshare, and seek external validation, the power of silence is often overlooked. But, as we've explored in this episode, silence isn't weakness, it's strength. It's a form of self-respect, a shield that protects your energy, your goals, and your personal growth from unnecessary interference. By keeping certain aspects of your life private, your dreams, struggles, progress, and even your good deeds, you allow yourself the freedom to grow without distractions. You create a space where your inner world can flourish, where your confidence can build quietly, and where your actions speak louder than your words ever could. Stoic wisdom reminds us that we control our responses, not the reactions of others. When you choose silence, you're taking control of your narrative, ensuring that your energy is directed toward what truly matters: your growth, your peace, and your purpose. In a noisy world, silence becomes a rare and powerful tool for cultivating focus and resilience. This isn't about secrecy, it's about discretion. It's about knowing what to share, when to share it, and with whom. Not everything needs to be broadcasted. Some things are sacred, meant to be nurtured in private until they are strong enough to stand on their own. By embracing the art of silence, you're choosing to protect what's precious, to guard your inner world, and to live with quiet confidence. So, as you move forward, ask yourself, what areas of my life can I keep private to protect my peace and focus? Start small. Practice holding back, not to hide, but to strengthen. Let your actions, not your words, define your path. In time, you'll find that this quiet strength creates a life of clarity, purpose, and true fulfillment. Thank you for listening to this episode. If it resonated with you, share it with someone who might benefit from these insights, and don't forget to subscribe for more Stoic-inspired wisdom. Until next time, stay focused, stay disciplined, and remember, silence is your superpower. See you in the next one.